Hey, listen! Guess who's really exhausted and hasn't been sleeping well or properly and is really excited that the school year is over? Every single university student that isn't taking spring or summer classes, of course. It's like 2 in the morning. Yay! Which also means that I can't really be that loud because I have people who live with me, like housemates and stuff, and, you know, some people like their sleep. Not me, I just lay in bed for 8 hours with my eyes closed. That counts, right? Hey guys, Journal Go here. So this week's video is just about my first year of university being completed and what I think about it. How it went. Other words. And I guess I'd have to say overall I enjoyed it. It was really good. Good, that's a great use of adjectives, Dory. Really, I did enjoy it. It threw me for quite a loop. Everything in my world has changed in just September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. 8 months. I never expected to experience half of the things that I did this year, which is really great. I did think that I'd be able to see people more than I did, but in the end I don't think it was that much of an issue because the people that really matter I did get to see. You know, even if it was maybe 4 times maximum through the whole year. I have to say the biggest change was moving into the city. It's so strange. For one thing, like, I guess it's a lot more dangerous in the city, and it's a lot more crowded, and a lot more noisy, and busy, and everything. But I really do enjoy it. It's strange, because I'm not a city person, and I really didn't think that I'd enjoy, like, living in the city. But I think being in university and making the friends that I did and getting to do all these different things that, like, you can't do when you live in a small town made it that much better. And living beside a freaking bowling alley, that's a good thing. That's helpful. Let's go with things that I enjoyed about my first year at the U of A. I mean, it could be my first year away from home. It could be my first year at the university. It's my first year in post-secondary in general. It's my first year living alone. But we're going to talk about just basically my first year at U of A, and some of the other things will come in along later generally. Some of the things that I really liked about my first year of university is especially at the beginning of the year, being in university is really great because it's not like high school. There's no drama. Nobody knows me. So I don't have to feel self-conscious or, like, I mean, you can still feel judged because that's how people are, but for most of the part, a university the university space and culture is very accepting, so I feel free to be who I am. Sometimes, like, you can just sing and people don't mind. It's like people don't care, people don't notice, people don't bug you about being who you are, whoever you are, however you want to be. So it's just very open and very accepting, and I really like that because you get into this thing, or at least I did, most people, where, especially lately, everybody's just really quiet. Nobody wants to take a chance at answering the question because, well, they might be wrong and they might be scolded, but in this environment, it's more about just helping us all learn. If you have a question, ask it, and people won't mind. They really enjoy being more interactive, despite the fact that I've been in classes, all my classes mainly, are like groups of 300 to 500 kids. It's kids, university students. So it's really great to see that, like, when you move past high school, things get better. It's like you're more accepting, you're more willing to do things. There's so many opportunities. That's another thing. There's so many opportunities at the university, like parties, fundraisers, clubs, general events. I don't know. There's a lot of different places to like hang out with friends and study and meet people. So it was really, in that way, I really enjoyed it. You get pretty good physical exercise just on a daily basis because the campus is so freaking huge, and some of the times you're gonna have to go upstairs, and some of the times it's just on the second floor. So what's the use of taking like an elevator? Like if it's like past the 4th floor, I'll take an elevator. But if it's not, like, you're going up and down those steps like crazy, and like it's, the university campus takes up like blocks, so you get a lot of really decent exercise on a daily basis, which was surprisingly awesome to like have. There's a lot of support if you need it. Like like I said, like with opportunities and stuff, there's a lot of support for people to help you to write essays, support from your TAs, lots of office hours. There's lots of support in that respect, and then there's also lots of support to people like who are fighting depression or other issues. Like there's these or the LGBTQ blah 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 community, you know, like you can find people that will be really helpful for you. And what I think is great is that the university and the university experience is all about like finding who you are, and yeah, it's about finding yourself and flourishing as the individual that you are meant to be. And a lot of the times, yes, that comes out through ridiculous amounts of stress, but that's just the school system in general, and it's really hard to handle that. But if you do, this is one of the greatest experiences, even from just the first year, that I have ever had. It feels really great just to be able to be yourself, unhindered and raw. Another positive thing, did I mention that the university campus is so freaking pretty? Like, it is so beautiful. When I came in the fall, it was kind of like the end of the summer, so things were still green and lush, and then in the fall, it was just so beautiful and dead. Like, the falling leaves and everything turning red and orange and beautiful and decaying, and then in the winter it was just like a winter wonderland, and they had lights strung up, and every morning you would walk and you'd see like big Christmas trees in the quad area, and then it's so pretty when everything's coming back to life in the spring. Like, so that's another thing. The campus is just so freaking beautiful. Some teachers are really great, some are not, but some really are. It's really great to have a chance to learn something that you're actually interested in, rather than taking things that you're required to. I mean, there are things that you're required to take, but most of the time you're doing something that you want to be doing, so it's not as much of a burden or painful to do. Like, I really enjoyed doing my homework most of the time because it was so fascinating and interesting to me that it was like really great. And especially like going to lectures and just listening to them lecture or talk about these issues, like about all this knowledge is just amazing. It really is like a hive of knowledge, and it just, like, it feels like when you're there, it's just like, I have potential here. The transportation isn't really that terrible. I've only been on the LRT once, but I've been on the busing many times. It's not the greatest thing, but I wouldn't say that it's the most terrible way to go. You just don't want to, or at least I don't want to be stuck on there when there's like no space for me to move, and I'm just like, because nobody like accepts touching other people today, and I'm like, my bubble, please stay out of my space. The friends are really great. The friends that you make at university are really great, and I think it's because you get to choose. Like, when you were in school, there wasn't much choice. Like, you had a small selection of people, and you generally have some friends that have been with you but probably aren't with you anymore. But through this university experience, I've made 2 solid like best friends and a bunch of other really good friends that I'm still going to like get to see, but I don't just see like frequently. But these people are really great because they're so different. Everybody grew up with like a different kind of lifestyle or setting because they're not from the same area as you, so they all have these really awesome experiences to tell you about, so there's so much more to talk about. And what's really great is that these people, you generally meet them because you're in the same class or blah blah doing the same things, so they have the same interests as you. And when you have the same interests or passions as someone, it's so easy to talk to them and so easy to like get along and discuss and just have like really great times. So that's one thing that I've really enjoyed during my university experience, my first year. Just feels really great as well because I know that a lot of people don't like it, being like turning 18 and you're thrown into the world as an adult and nobody prepares you and stuff, but I really like it because for a lot of my life I was doing certain things to help prepare me be more responsible and be more mature. So it's really great to be in this setting because it's mature and there's nobody being condescending to you. Like, you're treated as equals, especially because when you're on the campus, you can't tell who's a first year, a second year, a third year, fifth year doctorate student. You really can't tell. We're all like young-faced. So, I mean, you kind of have to respect each other, especially because respect the effort it took to get there. Everybody at the university had to work hard, I'm assuming, to get into this school, so you have to respect them. But that just goes back to the whole environment being like really amazing. To sum up and to say the least, I really enjoyed my first year of university and my first year of living alone and my first year of moving away from the hometown and my first year of being me. I really enjoyed it. But there are some downfalls or some issues I had with this year. If you couldn't tell from previous videos, finals, or the general way that they examine a student's capabilities, like tests and how they mark things, like the whole marking schema where our finals are worth 50% of our grade and like the practical aspects that we do are not, they're basically meaningless. That is bullshit. So that really sucks. And that bleeds into the fact that like the other thing that really sucks is all the stress. I mean, I really love it. So the goods outweigh the bad, but there's so much stress that it can really hinder the experience if you can't handle it. Which goes back to the support I was talking about. There is a lot of support for people who can't handle it. There is no reason to let yourself go over the edge or to not seek help. It's, you just gotta find your outlets. You gotta find your peace and you've gotta learn to live there. The grading schema and the freaking stress are major downfalls. Of course there are people who are judgy, but as a general tone they're not. And of course there are teachers that aren't very helpful and you don't have times that match up and your schedule is very busy and there are some teachers that just can't teach you properly, so scheduling sucks. Like, the scheduling your university classes sucks, especially because, like, you don't get the opportunity of doing it first. Like, it's the people who've been there the longest do it and it moves down to you, and, yeah, that really sucks, especially because, like, when there's technological issues, you have to put so much effort into it to figure out why there's an issue. It's really not easy. It's just consulting somebody like in a high school from a town that I was living in. It's just easy to be like, hey, I need help. But no, with these things you have to like book interviews or book time slots to actually get your help, and it sucks if you don't actually have the time. So yeah, scheduling is really iffy. It's terrible. There's so much access to like food and bad stuff, like bad for you stuff. I think that's a downfall for me. I'm like, oh god, no, please, no, give me a wee. One of the reasons I think I could never live on campus. One of the sucky things is that you may grow away from some of the people you really care about in your life. You may be distancing yourself from those people without even trying. So that was something that like I didn't like, was that I really care about everybody that I have in my life, but I didn't have enough time to do that for anybody. Didn't have enough time to be the person so dedicated to everybody that I used to be, and I had to start focusing on myself. And I don't like that. I like to be somebody who focuses on the world rather than myself, but this is for my future, and I have to think about that too. I don't like the workload. I don't mind it, but I'm reducing my amount of classes because I can't handle it. Maybe some people can. I can't. So that really hurt. It was I was really good at my first semester because it was all right-brained, right? But I wasn't as great when I started going into the sciences, but sciences are like everything I have left. So I'm like, okay, I have to reduce this, and I just really hope I'll be able to do this properly and hope that the teachers and classes that I've chosen complement my way of learning, because that's been a challenge this first year of university. Trying to live off of like zero money and zero food, that's a downfall. It makes you resourceful, which is very nice, but I can't say that it was pleasant. I really did start to lose myself in the second semester. Like first semester, I boomed. Like it was really great. And then second semester came and I was okay, but I just steadily fell as time went on, and I felt like I was really losing myself in the stress of it all, and that's why I want to take this time off, because I really need to be able to take care of myself and find myself before I get thrown back into it next year. The other downfall is that there's been a lot of bugs and apartmental issues like heating, etc., things breaking, but I really liked being self-reliant. I really enjoyed that, and I really enjoyed being able to choose who I seen when I seen them. One thing I really hope for the next year, because I'll be moving out of this place into a bedroom, which is crazy, but I'll be moving out of this place into a bedroom with Black Velvet. Like, she'll be in another bedroom, but we'll be in a building together with her grandparents. One thing I really hope is that, 1, I'll be able to stay sane. 2, I'll be able to still be myself without, and not be hindered by the new environment. 3rd, just in general, I've scheduled my time so that I will be able to have time and do well in my classes, or better than I did. I want to be able to maintain a better sleeping schedule, because I really hate how bad mine has gotten. Like, I digress. I used to suck, or no, I've always really sucked at being able to fall asleep, but I think it's really stupid when you can't fall asleep until 8 o'clock in the freaking morning. Like, you're supposed to be fucking waking up at that time. Nope, not me. Yeah, I just hope to have time, stay sane, and meet more people and get even more great experiences like I did this year. In general, I really loved my first year of schooling at the University of Alberta. I really enjoyed it. It's totally for me. All the effort and hard work and hours that I dedicated to this have totally paid off in the long haul. It is everything that I wanted, and I'm just trying to enjoy it. Yeah, there are downfalls, but there are downfalls to anything, and I'm just going to try to work my hardest to smooth out those rough areas and do my best. avoiding as much stress as I can, love myself and love the experiences, and just try to always remain positive, because this truly is one of, like, my life is beginning, basically. I'd always agreed with my father when he said your life doesn't start until you get out of high school. I'd always agreed with that, but I didn't know what it meant to live before now, and I'm really enjoying it. And as for the quote of the week, it's a very simple one that I've really loved forever, because it means that everything I do has some sort of value and worth in the end. It's simply this: knowledge is power. And that's the truth. Knowledge is power. There's power in connections and everything, but knowledge truly is power, and it will get you really far in this world. Major light exposure. I'm gonna go because I'm pretty sure it's 3 o'clock in the morning now, and I'm really tired. Not that that's gonna help me sleep, but I have to get up early tomorrow to go back to my hometown. So, this is me. I had a great experience. I hope you enjoy it. If you did, click the like or subscribe buttons. They're down below. Whatever makes you happy. Have a great weekend. Have a great life. Stay golden, pony boy. And I'll see you next week. See ya.